Intense lobbying, we understand, is taking place within the National Democratic Congress as President-elect John Dramani Mahama prepares to put together his government, which will be sworn in on the 7th of January 2025. Ahead of this, Akosia Ochre, ChannelOne News' reporter, has been looking at how his next government is going to look like and has this to report.
We'll put in place a robust code of conduct and standards for all government officials in line with the principles of ethical leadership, modesty, humility, integrity, and accountability. We will nominate all our cabinet ministers for parliamentary approval within the first 14 days in office. We would have named all our cabinet ministers. We will constitute the leanest and most efficient government in the history of the Fourth Republic in the first 90 days in office.
With January 7th rapidly approaching and just 14 days after the official swearing in of John Mahama as president, the big task ahead is the selection of his ministers. As promised, John Mahama has committed to appointing only 60 ministers. Already, some major figures have emerged as strong contenders for key roles in the second Mahama administration. Julius Deborah, a former chief of staff in Mahama's first term and currently serving as a chairman of the transition team, is widely expected to return to the role. Julius Deborah, who has been described as the mastermind behind Mahama's comeback, is seen as the right person to oversee the office of the president and ensure smooth operations within the executive. Dr. Valerie Sawyer, who served as Deputy Chief of Staff during Mahama's first term, is another name likely to be reappointed to her previous post. Her return to the role would bring continuity to the administration's internal affairs. For the energy sector, 45-year-old MP for Yape Kusou, John Jinapo, is likely to be tapped for the position of Minister in charge of energy. Some believe his experience in the sector and his record in holding government accountable makes him more competent for the job. Quite a number of individuals are being tipped to become the #1 lawyer of the land, the Attorney General, Marietta Brew, Mahama Ayariga, Dominic Ayine, Eduji Tameklo, and Thaddeus Sori. The Elembele MP, Emmanuel Amakofi-Boa, is also expected to be named Minister for Lands and Natural Resources. Perhaps the most anticipated appointment is that of the Minister of Finance. The minority leader in Parliament, Dr. Kesalato Forsing, is a leading contender for the role. He is a well-regarded economist, has a deep understanding of fiscal policy, and is known for his analytical skills. Or former Governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Abdul Nashiru Isaaku, may also be given the role as Finance Minister, while Mona Korte is expected to serve as Deputy Finance Minister, though some sources also speculate that Isaac Adongo, an economist and outspoken critic of government financial policies, may be brought in as the economic maguire. The role of Minister for Foreign Affairs is also crucial in Mahama's second term, and Samuel Okudzeto-Ablakwa, the MP for North Tongue, is expected to be appointed. For Communications Minister, the role is likely to go to Felix Kwakye-Ofosu, a former Deputy Communications Minister. Alternatively, Sam Nati George, the MP for Ningo Pram Pram, who is also known for his eloquent communication, may be given the role as Communications Minister. In the tourism sector, Jifa Gomashi, a former Deputy Minister for Tourism, Arts and Culture, is expected to return to the ministry. Alternatively, ace musician Rex Omar may be given the role for his passion for arts and culture. Following his understanding of the creative industry, the Youth and Sports Ministry is a crucial department with multiple potential appointees. Dr. Randy Abe, Neelante Vanderpoy, and Edemagbana have all been mentioned as possible candidates for the role, each bringing different strengths to the position. Already, some of these individuals have begun lobbying.
Become the Minister of Sports in 2025, I will sanitize sports, GF. I will sanitize football once again. I'm not happy with what's going on. I'm not happy. There are so many things wrong with our football. And unless we take bold steps to sanitize the system and take decisions that will inure to the benefit of the people who are doing football and the footballers, and not businessmen and Shylocks, football will not grow. I've been a footballer before. I've been a sportsman before. I will fight against anybody who desire to exploit any sportsman.
As we approach the swearing-in ceremony on January 7, all eyes will be on the president-elect's choices of appointments, which will set a tone for his administration and determine the direction Ghana takes over the next 4 years. A few have proposed to John Mahama to consider appointing some members outside his government.
This whole winner-takes-all syndrome, which has been associated with partisanship, I think is also not helping our country, because we don't have the benefit of harvesting and mobilizing the collective talent of all Ghanaians. And we should not be divided in that regard by our different political ideologies. I think that also needs to change. Thirdly, also, the lack of continuity of government projects, which again is the result of this partisanship, has also cost our nation quite a bit of money. And I think that also has to change. So I would really like, very respectfully, you to consider this whole development paradigm of how you build a government of national unity.